My hat! Alright, so now we're on bag 8. So bag 8, this is just the turnbuckles. So when you grab the bag, it's going to have all the turnbuckles, and I've gone ahead and already pulled some and started fixing some just because it takes a while to assemble them. But you're going to be using all of the straight ones. These here at an angle, you will not be using them, and these are pretty easy. You just grab and twist, they'll come off, and then if you want to clean them off a little, you can. It's not going to affect anything. I mean, they come off pretty clean. But you won't be needing these here. You just need all the straight ones, and you should have enough. And there's two different sizes in the turnbuckles. You have the 67, which you will use for the front and rear. And then you have the shorter ones, and the shorter ones are 58 millimeter. And these are the ones that you will be using. Actually, these are the front, and then you use the rear and the steering, but they're all different lengths. I'm actually going to start for the rear. So in the rear, you're going to put them at 47 millimeters, and the rear is actually kind of simple. You just screw these on, and then once you can no longer see the threads, that's pretty much your 47. So these are ready. The other thing too to note is all of these turnbuckles have a line right in here. Put that on the left side. I like keeping it on the left side. That's the left thread. So here there will be just a line right on here. I'm actually running my nail through it right now. That's the left side. So I'm going to keep it here, and I'm going to place them all on the left-hand side. And the reason why is that way all my turnbuckles, if I turn them forward, so if I go forward on the turnbuckle, right, I'll tighten them. If I go back, actually the other way. If I go forward, I will open them up. If I go back, I'll close them. And even if you forget which way, I mean, you'll just turn one and you'll figure out which way, or you can just kind of think of where the threads go. But you're going to grab it, and with that little mark, you're just going to grab one of these. And because I'm doing the left one, I want to spin it left. So this, I'm turning left. And you just get it started with the left, then use this little wrench. That's the tool that comes in. You will need this probably for the shocks. And I'm just going to stick a driver here, and I'm just going to spin it to the left. And I'm going to spin this until I can no longer see the threads. The reason why is all of these turnbuckles, you're not going to be able to see the threads. You're going to close 4 of them even further. So just set them all until you can no longer see the threads. Then you can stop, place the other one. Now the other one's a right-hand thread, so you're going to spin it right. And this one you were spinning left. And if you think about it, if you hold it with the left here, you're spinning the caps away from you. And that's tightening, which would be the same thing as turning the turnbuckle toward you. So if you go back on the turnbuckle, you will tighten. If you go forward, you will loosen. So it'd be the same thing as if I grabbed this, if you think about it, wrong side, and I went this way, right? So if I go back, it'll tighten. And it's a lot easier on your fingers. I mean, I did this just holding it, but it's a lot easier on your fingers if you just stick a driver through here and spin it. All right, so I'm going to place this like this. Now, like I said, I already completed one, so this is already measured. I already measured it to the specified length over here. So this one, I'm just going to close it, but I'll show you how to close it shortly. This is the shorter one. So the shorter one, you do the exact same thing. So again, the mark on the left side, because this is the left side thread. Then I want to get it started. And I will just hold this in here. And there we go. And I usually just hold it like this. And there we go. Now make sure that when you thread these, it's threading in straight, because it's very easy to thread these in slightly crooked, and then you're going to have a problem. So you need to make sure these are threading in straight. And I'm just going to thread until I can no longer see the threads. There it is. Now I'm going to use the other one, so right hand. And I'm going to get this started. It's just faster with the driver. Now, if this is your first kit, this is the only tool you get. But if you have some other kits from other brands, many of them come with a tool that it's a little cross. You just stick it in here, and then you can just spin it. So this would fit inside. HPI used to provide them. Traxxas used to provide them. They probably still do. But that's this one. So this is the long one. I'll place it off to the side. So now, one of the things that you want to do to get it to the right side is take turns. This is the right side. I'm going to rotate this twice. And the reason why is I compared it here, and I need to close it quite a bit. Two. And then I'm going to compare it with the other one. Or, if you're doing it for the first time, you measure. And it's still too long, way too long. So I'm going to go ahead and turn once, twice, and once, twice. So here we go. And I can compare them, and that looks almost. So this is the actual, the top one's the one I'm trying to match. It's almost the correct size. So at this point, I'm just going to hold this. I'm going to do just a quarter turn to shorten it, and then I'll grab the other one and I'll do a quarter turn to shorten it. And I'm doing this for now, although later on you're going to see that I'm going to need these oriented a different way. But once I have them the same length, then I can just play and I can move one way and the other one the other to loosen or tighten and try to keep the same length between them. So for now, let's see, this is pretty close. Well, not really. Let's see. So I'm going to do the same thing. 2, 1, 2, and over here. 1, 2. And that looks close enough. All right, and these were already set. Now, I'm still going to need that. Now, the next thing to note is that they are not going to be facing the same direction. So if we look at this, this is one of the long turnbuckles, but it's one of the ones that you set shorter, which are these up here. So I need one of the cups to face rearward, and I need the other one to face downward. So this is why I set them the same first, and then I'll actually start working on the truck. So the reason why is I have the length that I want. So again, one of them is going to be facing rear, and when I place them, again, I have the little etch mark on the left-hand side. So if this goes here, right, I need to spin this to face it here. So I'm actually going to grab this here, and I'm going to do I'm going to grab it, I'm going to spin it slightly this way, spin this one slightly this way. And now I'm just going to make them. So I'm going to start here with the back, well, the inner part. Should snap right in place. And then I can go ahead and snap this in. Now you should be able to do it with your hands, but if not, you can always grab pliers. Sometimes they do get a little tough, but that's it. So that's the first turnbuckle. Now at this point, the other thing that you could have done, to be honest, you don't really need the tools because they're not that hard, but you could just grab it, and then just spin them. And here we go. Perfect. And there. So we have the other one in there. And later on you can just tweak them. The important thing is to have the left side on the left side. Well, the etch marks on the left side. That's that portion there. And now, actually, so I'm going to get these shorter ones, and these are going to be my camber. Now again, we're going to need the same thing. This one's a little tougher. Here we go. And that's it. And again, left, 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 left. And that's it. So my turnbuckles are set. Looks pretty good. To be honest, I'm gonna end up closing these a little, get rid of some of the toe. But it's all right for now. I'm just doing the stock settings. You do the rest of the adjustments later on. All right, so now this is where you want to set the shafts in here. You can do one side, then you do the other. So all I did was just dropped it in, and then you just spin it a little, lines up, set it down. And these are easier because they're both straight. So you're just going to drop this in, make sure that that's lined up. And this is way too short. 47. I'm measuring again. Yeah, this is 47. This is way too short. So I'm going to have to extend these. I'm wondering why the instructions called for 47. 47 is the longest length. Oh. Hey, just found a problem. So I need to reverse these. These actually go on the other side. There we go. And this should just snap in place. There we go. Snap in place, so that is perfect. So now I just need to switch the other side. And that is it. So I really want to show you what the final product, well, it's not the final product, but what these look like. This is why I'm switching them. Although once you see the left, you see the right. And I'll just flip this. And I'll get this one started. Once I do that, and here we go. And let's see. Here we go. All right, so now just make sure the drive shaft is in the correct place before you put the turnbuckle. If not, you're going to have to remove the turnbuckle. That's the reason why you need to check that. But other than that, that is it. So your arms are now, should be on. So these arms are on. And everything's working. Wow, that is smooth. Of course, I built it, right? But that's it. So I believe that's all for bag 8. Let me just double check, and that is it. So now we are going to begin building bag 9, which is the shocks, on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.